T20 World Cup 2026. Shock secret negotiations, Pakistan boycotts, match against India.
Okay, so on February 15th, 2026, the entire cricket world was pretty much stopped in its tracks by a single announcement. One statement that put the most watched, most valuable match in the sport completely in jeopardy. And it had almost nothing to do with the actual game of cricket itself. And there it was. The government of Pakistan announced that its national team would be forfeiting the game. Now, this sent absolute shockwaves through the International Cricket Council, that's the ICC, the sport's global governing body, and it left pretty much everyone scrambling and asking, what on earth just happened? I mean, that's the real question, isn't it? The implications here are just massive. So in this explainer, we're going to break down the complicated history, what the immediate trigger was, and the incredible high-stakes power play behind this decision. And we're basing this all on some really detailed analysis from sports journalists at Geo News. To really get how we got here, you have to rewind the clock. According to the journalists at Geo News, politics and cricket in this rivalry haven't just been intertwined. They've become basically inseparable. And they argue one side's actions years ago set a precedent that led us straight to this moment. What these analysts point out is that for years and years, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, the BCCI, has used its government's official stance as the reason to avoid playing matches in Pakistan. And this created a dynamic that felt very, very one-sided. And this timeline, well, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? It shows exactly what those analysts are talking about. You can see Pakistan has consistently traveled to India for big tournaments, and even for those head-to-head bilateral series. But India's last official tour to Pakistan, you got to go all the way back to 2008. So you can see how this feeling of an unbalanced relationship really started to grow. Okay, so you have all this history simmering in the background, this long list of grievances. But according to the analysis, it was actually a recent explosive event involving a totally different country that acted as the final catalyst for Pakistan's huge move. This quote from one of the Geo News analysts just says it all, right? It perfectly captures that feeling that a tipping point had finally been reached. The sense was that they couldn't just sit back and do nothing anymore, which forced them to take their strongest stand yet. And here's where things get really interesting from a strategic point of view. Pakistan officially framed this decision not as a fight with India, but as an act of solidarity with another cricketing nation, Bangladesh. By doing this, they took it from being just about their own rivalry and turned it into a principled stand against what they saw as clear political interference in the sport. As you can probably guess, a decision this big immediately kicked off a media firestorm. A full-blown war of narratives erupted, with everybody pushing their own very different story about what was happening. The responses came fast, and they were all over the place. As the source material shows, the reactions basically split into three main groups. The ICC, for its part, mostly focused on how disappointed the fans were. Then, some media outlets in India reportedly started talking about a wish list of punishments, everything from huge fines to things that could damage the Pakistan Super League. And on the other side, Pakistan just held its ground, sticking to its legal and political defense. And this right here, this is where we see Pakistan's core argument. They are literally mirroring the exact justification that India has used for so many years. They're effectively saying, hey, our hands are tied. This is a government decision, and it's completely out of the cricket board's control. So that brings us to Pakistan's legal shield. The Geo News analysts argue that the agreement everyone signs with the ICC has a standard force majeure clause. And because of that clause, they say it's going to be incredibly difficult for the ICC to legally punish the Pakistan Cricket Board for a decision made by its government. It's like a legal get-out-of-jail-free card. But let's be clear. This isn't just about one game or some legal loophole. The analysts argue this whole thing is a calculated, high-stakes gamble designed to shake up the entire power structure of world cricket. So why does this one match matter so much? Honestly, it comes down to money. The India-Pakistan game is, and this is no exaggeration, the financial engine of the entire ICC. It brings in more viewers, more sponsors, more revenue than any other match, period. And canceling it creates a massive financial crisis that the ICC just can't afford to ignore. And as the panelists put it, pretty much the whole financial world of the ICC revolves around this one single game. I mean, India versus Australia is huge. The Ashes between England and Australia, massive. but they don't even come close to the India-Pakistan fixture. And that extreme reliance, well, that's where Pakistan gets all its leverage.
So what is the endgame here? Well, Pakistan is basically using the ICC's own business model against itself. By taking the single most valuable product off the table, they're trying to force a complete renegotiation of their role in world cricket. They're demanding a share of the revenue that they feel actually reflects their importance to the game's bottom line.
This decision has really pushed the cricket world into completely new, uncharted territory. The big takeaway here is that this isn't just about a rivalry anymore. The future of how the sport is governed, how it's financed, and who holds the power, all of that could be decided by how this incredible standoff plays out.
Thanks for watching. Like, comments, and share.